It was the middle of the night when I saw him, the man who was supposed to be dead. He stared at me with hollow eyes, but the worst part, he was smiling. My name is Dr. Riley Matthews, and I work as an ER doctor at St. Augustine's Hospital, a place known for its history as much as its emergencies. Everyone who works here has their stories, whispers about the strange things that happen in the dead of night. But I never believed any of it until that night. It started like any other shift. The ER was bustling as usual, filled with broken bones, sprained ankles, and the occasional heart attack. Nothing out of the ordinary. But then, we received a call about a trauma patient, John Keats, a 45-year-old man involved in a horrific car accident. I didn't think much of it at first. Accidents like this happen every day. When they wheeled him in, he was already unresponsive. His heart had stopped before they even reached the hospital. He'd been dead for about 20 minutes. We worked on him for an hour, pumping his chest, shocking his heart, but there was no response. He was gone. I called it time of death, 2:07 a.m. But that's when things started getting strange. Just as I was about to leave his room and prepare the paperwork, one of the nurses, Karen, came to me in a panic. "Doctor Matthews, you need to come quickly. There's something wrong with Mr. Keats' room." Confused, I followed her down the hall. When we reached the door, it was already slightly ajar. I pushed it open, and my blood ran cold. The lights flickered overhead, and in the corner of the room, standing by the window, was John Keats, alive. The same man who had been dead on the table not 15 minutes ago. His clothes were slightly askew, and his hair was matted with blood. His face was pale, but his eyes were wide open, staring at me. "John?" I whispered, heart hammering. My mind raced. Maybe he'd been revived. Maybe there was something wrong with the initial tests, something I had missed. But no, he had been dead. I knew it. He turned slowly, and that's when I noticed the smile. It was the kind of smile that made your stomach churn. It wasn't a smile of someone who had just survived death. It was something else, something far more sinister. "You shouldn't have let me go." His voice was low, hoarse, as though it came from a place far beyond death itself. I froze. What did he mean by that? Before I could react, he stepped forward, his feet moving unnaturally, almost gliding across the floor. And then the lights went out. The entire ER plunged into darkness. I could hear the soft shuffle of feet, but there was no way to tell where he was. Panic surged through me as I fumbled for my phone, desperate for any light. The battery was dead. "Karen?" I called out, but my voice felt swallowed by the blackness. Suddenly I heard a loud bang, a door slamming, and then another voice. It wasn't John's. "Don't trust them, Riley. They're not who you think they are." The voice was sharp, urgent, but it didn't belong to anyone I knew. It was cold and distant, echoing off the walls of the ER. But before I could process it, I felt a cold hand on my shoulder. I spun around, but there was nothing there. Only the unsettling feeling that something, or someone, was watching me. Then the lights flickered back on. The room looked exactly as it had before, but John Keats was gone. I ran to his bed, my hands shaking as I checked the monitor. His heart rate was flat. The bed was empty, the sheets still and untouched. But what really sent a chill down my spine was the note on the pillow. In dark, smeared ink, it read, "I told you not to let me go." I couldn't explain what happened. I called security, but there were no signs of anyone leaving the room. No traces, no footprints, no John Keats. The hospital cameras showed nothing either. The room had been empty the entire time, but as I walked out, trying to make sense of it, I saw him again, just for a moment. His smile was wider this time, and the flicker of the light seemed to make his eyes glow. I never went back to that room after that night. The next morning, I went over the files. I had to, and what I found was worse than I ever could have imagined. John Keats had died. No one had revived him. No one had ever seen him leave the room. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling that he never really left. To this day, I hear whispers sometimes. "Riley, you shouldn't have let me go." If you think this story is chilling, make sure to watch my next video where I'll share even more terrifying encounters in the very same hospital. Something still lurks there, waiting for the next person to cross its path. Don't miss it if you dare.